What is up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and today we are back with episode 30. Let me just take a look, because, um, so just what you all saying, I hope you guys all had a good Halloween. Comment down below, because I already know I asked that a while ago, but I just thought for those who haven't seen my community post, comment on what you think. Today, this is episode 34 of Shadows and Pretties. And today we are going to be talking about a different movie. Now, I did ask this in the community post about, a day or so ago about what other movie should I do next. And this is a Studio Ghibili topic related. So today, a lot of people have suggested me to do Kiki's Delivery Service, and that's the one that got the most votes. So today I am going to do Kiki's Delivery Service, and that's the movie what we're going to be talking about today. So it is a Studio Ghibli directed by Hayao Miyazaki. For those who wonder who this guy is, he's the one who directed Spirit Away and a bunch of other movies. But to be completely honest, this is actually one of my favorite Hayao Miyazaki movies, along with some other ones. Kiki's Delivery Service is another of my favorites. So, with that being said, I do like the Japanese version of this, but I also like the English version. The English version of it is just amazing. Like the Disney one they did the English one sometime in, I think in, the Streamline Pictures, and then they did the English one back in the late 90s. So, with that being said, we are going to basically do this story. So, okay. For those who haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend you check this out because it's a really, really awesome it's an awesome story. You will not be disappointed, and it works really well, and I actually remember this movie being a really good concept when it comes to that. So, with that being said, if you're brand new to my channel, let's begin. Be sure you hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notification, and let's get started. So, I will be talking about the plot of Kiki's Delivery Service for those who don't know. So, of course, this is about witches, which is a pretty interesting concept and stuff like that. So, with that being said, and I'm going to say this right now that it is based on, there is based on, I think, a book or something by Kiki's Delivery Service. I don't know, but I think there is a story behind that. So, with that being said, I am going to, begin with this and, explain what the plot is, and we'll go from there. So, of course, it's about a 13-year-old witch named Kiki who leaves home with her black cat Gigi, who she talks to, and flies on a broomstick to port city of Koryoko while searching for somewhere to live as Kiki is going to learn and do magic and stuff on her own as the age of 13. It's a traditional, trainee for witches in this story. So Kiki is pursued by Tombo, who is a geeky boy obsessed with aviation who admires her flying ability. So in the exchange for the accommodation, Kiki helps Onoso, who is the kindly and heavy pregnant of the owner of the bakery, opens a witch delivery business, delivering goods by her broomstick. So the first delivery goes badly as she gets caught in the gust of wind and drops a black cat toy that she was supposed to deliver. So Gigi pretends to be that toy until Kiki searches for it. When she finds it in the home of a young painter, Ursula, and who means to return it to Kiki so she can deliver the delivery and rescue Gigi. So Kiki accepts the party invitation by Tombo, but is delayed of her work and exhausted. When she falls ill, she recovers as Onoso arranges for Kiki to see Tombo again by assigning her to a delivery addressed to him. After Kiki apologizes for missing the party, Tombo takes her for a test flight on his flying machine that he's been working on. So, fashioned from the old bicycle, Kiki warns Tombo just to put it off by its friends teasing and walks home. So, after seeing this delivered gift, Kiki becomes depressed and she can no longer understand how Gigi spending more time with the white cat, but she also lost the ability to fly and is forced to suspend her delivery business. So, Ursula visits her and suggests Kiki's crisis from the artist block that if Kiki finds a new purpose, she'll regain her powers. So while visiting the customer, Kiki sees a live news report on television on the Ericsiv accident, and Tombo is hanging from one of the driftwood vessels from the mooring lines. So Kiki rushes to the scene to save him, by flying a borrowed broom and regaining her powers and confidence, and resumes her delivery service while writes home to see that she and Gigi are happy. What a great, absolute great story, I have to say. That this story was actually one of my favorites growing up as a young kid. I'm 100% sure most of you guys have seen this movie as a young kid, so that's actually one of the reasons why I like this movie, because I remember this movie being out when I was a young kid, and it was a really good movie, to be completely honest. So when Kiki's Delivery Service was released in Japan in July 29th, 1989, won the Image Anime Grand Prix Prize. It was the first film to ever release under a 15-year distribution program between the Walt Disney Company and the studio Ghibili. Walt Disney produced a dub of it, an English dub of it, back in 1997, which had premiered in the United States in theaters in the Seattle International Film Festival. So on May 25th of 1998, the film was released to home video on VHS in Canada, via US and Canada, in September 1st, 1998. So very surprising, eh? Oh my goodness, the nostalgia. Now, the several aspects of Kiki's behavior and appearance focuses on the commentary. One of the main theme of Kiki's transition into adulthood is while being raised by loving parents who support her independence, Kiki is faced with problems common in adults such as herself as finding a job, seeking acceptance, taking care of herself. Yeah, when you come to think of that, people don't usually, either, find a job, seeking acceptance, and taking care of him or herself until they're, close to their adulthood. So, but, that's a very different kind of challenges that Kiki has, had to face and, doing all that when she was growing up. I could really understand, being forced to do that at 13. I can understand how Kiki felt. And, yeah, and I can sure anyone would know. So the concept of the vulnerability is also examined closely in the film Critic. So they noticed that during Kiki's first night away from home, staying with the Bakers, early in the morning she quickly steps out of her room and into the outhouses and peers out to see the husband Fuko stretching his muscles, and after he leaves the scene, Kiki then rushes back to her room and slams the door while gasping for air. The scene does not absolutely look anything advanced to the plot or humor is low, but wordlessly expresses Kiki's youth and vulnerability and isolation. So that's pretty interesting. Now, another theme that has transitioned from the traditional concept to be is that Kiki is shown to be balance these qualities. For instance, Kiki observes a tradition for witches wearing black, but adorns her hair with a bright red bow. Yeah, I know witches don't usually wear that, but I still really found Kiki to be really cute in this movie. She also engages in another traditional methods, such as baking with wood-burning stove and frying her and flying on her mom's old broom, so that's pretty interesting. So Kiki's loss of her ability to fly and talk to Gigi is a subject of discussion. It considers to be the worst crisis Kiki faced in the film. Loss of flight reflects her on her own harm, on the harm dealt to Kiki's self-doubts. The hardship that causes Kiki to realize being invulnerable doesn't always lead to failure. For instance, experience demonstrates that such a vulnerability can help learn valuable lessons and better understanding oneself. So Kiki in this case does not face external adversities in the film, but although some have argued that the crashing dirigible is a feasible example. As Gigi is reserved for the wiser voice to Kiki, the girl who stopped hearing the moment when she strangled her self-doubt. At the end of the film, when Kiki had overcome her struggles, Gigi did not talk for a moment for a reason, because by this time, Kiki has become wiser. So in this realization to Kiki's portrayal of a witch may have drawn some comparables as an hysterical of the concept of the views on the witches and witchcraft. The film incorporates some adventures from the fairy tale, such as a black cat, a companion for Kiki, which is pretty much used at certain times as well. And there's a lot of great concept when it comes to that. I'm really glad that the animation did really good, because the animation itself of this is actually really amazing, to be completely honest. So, of course, when Kiki's realization of portraying a witch may have drawn some hysterical or something like that views of witches and witchcraft, the film incorporates some of the conventions from the fairy tale, such as the black cat companion for Kiki, Kiki's use of broomsticks for flight, her black dress. While girls with magical powers is common in Japanese television, Miyazaki noticed that the witchcraft doesn't always merely have to be to fulfill the dreams for young girls. They have always used becomes idols with no difficulties. In contrast, Kiki cannot use her powers as means as wish fulfillment. So when Kiki's been compared to other characters in Hayao Miyazaki films, while there are over differences between Kiki and San from Princess Mononoke, a character who is motivated by anger and both characters take control of their own lives, some of the themes remarkable independence that also seen in Miyazaki's early works, such as Nuskuska, The Valley of the Wind. Of course, to be honest, Kiki is also compared to Chihiro of Spirit Away, in the sense that they're both young girls, attempts to seek independence without being rebellious. Shiro is also developed independence around her friends, just as Kiki leaves her village with her parents' blessings. So the production started sometime in 1986 or 89, 87. Sorry about that, guys. My smoke alarm is going off. A group of a lot of people that have the publishers and owns the rights to adapt Kono's novel, full feature in the film by Hayao Miyazaki, of suddenly Ghibili, Studio Ghibli, however, decided the chosen directors were very busy. They were working on My Neighbor Totoro, Grave of Fireflies, and etc. Hayao Miyazaki accepted the role of producer studio while they continued to search the director. Near the end of Totoro's production, members of Studio Ghibli were the senior staff was directed to Kiki's delivery service. The character was given to certain people who was working with Miyazaki on Totoro, and that's basically how it started. I did not know that this was actually based on the book, as I know Howl's Moving Castle is, but this one, in this opinion, was just absolutely amazing and well done. So as soon as sometime around when Miyazaki finished a rough draft for the screenplay in June 1988, it was presented in July of 1988, it was the time that Miyazaki revealed that he had directed the film because he influenced on the project so much. So Kiki's Delivery Service was originally intended to be a 60-minute special, but expanded to the film running the 102 minutes long after Miyazaki completed the storyboarding and scripting. So in the Japanese title, which is, well, it's called Home Fast Mail, is a trademark for Yamato Transport, although it's just been used commonly today. So that's basically how the project is begun. I didn't really know this was based on the novel, but surprisingly, it looks like it. So, of course, the first English dub of Kiki's Delivery Service was made back in sometime around the early 90s, I believe. Kiki was portrayed the actress Lisa Menschlison, who voices Seku in Stormline, the dub of My Neighbor Totoro. But of course, Kristen Dunst, who voiced Kiki in Disney's 1997 English dub released in 1998, the dub was also Canadian-American comedy actor Phil Hartman's last voice-acted performance as Gigi, before his death sometime in 1998, which is very sad. The dub consists of memory of the Disney English dub of Kiki's Delivery Service, premiered at the Seattle International Film Festival in May 25th, 1998. It was also released on VHS on September of 1998. A few weeks later, Disney released another VHS of the movie with the original Japanese soundtrack with both English and Japanese subtitles. A later version of the English dub also became visible at the time. The Region 1 DVD, I guess you could say Region 1, I guess that's how they call it, DVD was released in April of 2003, alongside the releases of Spirit Away and Castle in the Sky that was released and reassured on Region 1 in March 2010, along with My Neighbor Totoro and Castle in the Sky as a tribute to the home release of Ponyo. This version altered from the English dub of 2 years later, in July 1st of 2013. Studio Canal released a Blu-ray following The Grave of Fireflies, except for the same format, only the United Kingdom. Walt Disney Home Entertainment released Kiki's Delivery Service on Blu-ray in 2014. And yeah, they've had a couple of releases and stuff. So the differences between these two versions is just very different. Disney's English dub of Kiki's Delivery Service contains some changes, which have been described. So the changes were approved by Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli were number additions as well, such as music scores and several lavish sound effects over sections were silent in the Japanese version. But the extra pieces that were composed by Paul Shigura, the render of the piano music, and the Japanese song Rouge du no Ninjan, which is the ending theme wrapped in kindness, both performed by Miyazaki as created by it. So the original opening and ending for the theme songs were replaced with new two songs, Soaring and I'm Gonna Fly, written and performed by the English dub Sydney Forrest, which is, well, that was in the Disney one. So I don't understand, and this is a really good reason that I probably did talk about this, but I really don't know. I don't understand why those two songs, Soaring and I'm Gonna Fly, was taken away from the DVD release, which I don't understand why that's the case, but it's only on VHS, which I don't understand why that's the case. Don't get me wrong, I like the Disney version of Kiki's Delivery Service, and I like the Japanese one, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense on why they did that. If there is a good reason why they didn't add Soaring or I'm Gonna Fly in the DVD release of Kiki's Delivery Service, just comment down below and I would like to hear your opinions. Of course, there is a manga book of the series using stills from the film, which is published in Japan, and the English translation was published in 2006 with 4 volumes. So, back in sometime in 1993, a musical of the story was produced with the script, who was directed the show. The role of Kiki was performed, and along with some other characters. And of course, whereas within the year the cast of the produced by the original cast, the show was revived again in 1995 and 1996. Surprisingly, they did have I guess you could kind of say that. Surprisingly enough, there was a musical based on this. Now, of course, with Kiki's Delivery Service, they have won lots of awards for Best Film, Best Director, Best Director, Best Award, Best Film, and even Best Female Character, and etc. Which is pretty amazing that this one had got a lot of great concept, and a lot of people really loved this movie ever since they, saw it. There was a lot of forums talking about Kiki's Delivery Service, and a lot of people do wish that there was a sequel behind this. I would love a sequel behind this, even though it's been 30 years. It would be really nice to have a sequel of it, but the only thing we could do if we want a sequel is just to have the fan fiction of it. But with that being said, what did you guys think of Kiki's Delivery Service? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this, movie a lot better? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I do apologize for the beeping noise in the background. That was my smoke alarm going off. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you're brand new here to my channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell when I upload. So that way you guys will not miss an upload. And anyways, with that being said, I'll be catching you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.